With summertime in full swing, we're thinking about yard sales and maybe working on that classic car with Hot August Nights right around the corner. We've brought back in Kurt Franke to touch on these two topics. We've never mentioned these. Yeah. First off, with somebody working on their car, whether it's classic or otherwise, working on cars in front yards is a thing in the eyes of the law, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. Right. If you have an unregistered, unworkable vehicle, actually the city allows you to have two of them, but you have to have a 6-foot fence in front of your front yard if you plan on doing that.
Now, with a lot of HOAs, that goes against a lot of those regulations where people say you can't just put a 6-foot fence in your front yard according to an HOA, so that might conflict with that right away, won't it?
It almost certainly would.
Okay.
And then you can be working on a car and you can park in front of your house, but generally the regulations require you to park on a driveway or a paved surface and not in the front yard on the grass, unless you live in, like a farming community where you have many, sometimes inoperable, sometimes operable, but you have a good piece of farming land that you can spread that out on.
And you don't have a neighbor right next to you complaining about it.
Exactly right, yeah.
Okay. Now, that also means, what about having it insured? You talked about having it registered. Insurance has got to be a part of this because you do still have a vehicle that is there. If it's not registered, does it have to be insured?
Generally, not to be registered, but you might want to insure it just for your own protection in case, especially a car that's potentially a classic. You can, somebody could obviously tow that thing away or steal it somehow. So for your own insurance, and it might be covered under a homeowner policy if it's inoperable, but you certainly want to make your insurance company aware that you want to insure that vehicle.
Very good. Okay, now we've talked about, and you see all the time, yard sales, garage sales. There are actual regulations with a yard or garage sale at somebody's home. How does this come about?
There are both the county and the city of Sparks and Reno have regulations on yard sales. And I think what they're really trying to prevent is people that are trying to buy goods somewhere else and then have a yard sale a week in their property and make money, really create a business.
Right.
People who aren't intending to create a business, in that case, then you don't have to worry about it so much. The city allows you to have a yard sale and put up your signs, although there are regulations as to where you can put that.
Sure.
But it can't go over 48 or 72 hours, depending upon whether you're county or city. And you can't have one more than 4 times a year.
Okay.
And in some they say 2 every 6 months, but I think somebody realized how restrictive that was given our climate during the winter months.
Gotcha. And that's a tough thing to be on the lookout for, but it is still something somebody could report you and say, wait a second, he's been doing this every other weekend, and now we're going to put a kibosh to it, is really how that comes about. And
you could have that kind of neighbor, but most neighbors, I think, are going to cut you a little slack on it. I think it's only those people that want to do it every single week in the front yard and may not be selling their own stuff at that point and really creating a business.
Very good. Okay. If you have any questions about the law as it pertains to your home, Kurt's a good man to talk to. Kurt, how they get a hold of you?
You can call me at 827-6100 and speak with Linda, Natalie, or Joe. They'd be happy to set up an appointment. Or you can go to my website as soon as I have it back up, lokaf.com.
It's the law offices of Kurt A. Franke, just bringing us another side of the legal side of real estate as it pertains to garage sales and working on your car.